Hey, this is Josh. I'm an online resource teacher, and welcome to my series on tips for online learners. Today, we're going to be talking about communication. So, why is it important to communicate with your teacher? Now, the simple answer to that is well, one, it's our job. That's kind of the biggest thing to it is that is one of our main responsibilities as online teachers. But we're also here to help you, and we want to help you too. Nobody becomes a teacher just because it's something to do. We become teachers because we want to help students, we want to help you learn, and we want you to have a good school experience. So don't hesitate to reach out. We want to help you. So, how to communicate with your teacher? So, there's a bunch of different ways you can get a hold of your teacher, at least in most online environments. You can always email them. You can send them an instant message on platforms such as Teams if your school has an Office 365 account. And personally, I find Teams the best way for students to contact me because Teams you can easily get on a call if you have to. I can easily send files if I have to. Students can send me files if they have to. It's a very, very flexible platform, and I highly recommend making use of that if your school has Office 365. You can also use the messenger that is on the learning platform. So if you use something like Moodle, there might be a little Moodle messenger built right in. Those are usually a little bit limited, and I recommend going with Teams, but it is a quick and easy way to get a hold of your teacher. See if your class has any class group chats or forums. I know forums are a little bit less common these days, but that is another option you can do. Now, I put a little star next to call because personally, I don't give out my phone number. I'm sure a lot of teachers that work from home don't give out their phone number at all. But if they work out of an office, they might. So that might be an option, but I'm sure for a lot of teachers, it's not. And at the start of the year, or I guess at any point in the year, feel free to ask your teacher, what's the best way to contact you and what do they prefer? Like I said, I would tell my students you should get on Teams and contact me through Teams, but you won't know unless you ask. So email etiquette. So odds are, especially if you're a younger student watching this, you might not have learned yet how to write a proper email. And it's not too tricky, and it's certainly something you get better at with time. But if you have an email and there's no subject and it's just whatever you're asking, it comes across as a bit rude and it could even be a bit confusing for the teacher. So when you're writing an email, first of all, keep it professional and keep it polite, or at least as professional as you can. And in terms of keeping things polite, even just a simple greeting in there or hope your day is going well, that kind of stuff goes a long way. Now for the subject is to give the reader a little bit of a preview of what the email is about. It doesn't have to be long, just a little sneak preview. So I have a few examples here. Math 7, assignment 10, science fair information, tomorrow's assembly. And notice how I have the first letter in each word capitalized as well. That is also to keep things looking professional. So when you're sending an email, here's a very, very basic template. Hey or hello or good morning, Mr. or Mrs. or whichever preferred pronoun your teacher goes by, and then their last name. Your teacher might even go by their first name too. So, hey, John, or whatever. Hope all as well, or some kind of friendly greeting, like I said. And then after that, you can just get right to your question or whatever you had to talk to them about. A friendly farewell, so thank you, regards, sincerely. I usually just go with thanks or thank you, but something before writing your name at the bottom. And I always go first name, last name. It really depends on your relationship with your teacher. You might just be on a first name basis with them. That's totally fine as well. Communicate with your teacher regularly. So even like a simple, how's it going? How's your morning going, teacher? Even something like that is enough to show your teacher that you're engaged in the course. You're obviously online, and that that you're comfortable reaching out to them as well. They want to help you. That's our job, and we want to be able to make a difference. So don't hesitate to reach out and do it regularly too. Your teacher wants to get to know you. Your teacher wants to be able to help you as much as they can. That also goes for emotional support as well too. If you're having a tough day or you just need to talk to somebody, odds are your teacher is willing to talk to you with that too, because When you think about it, in a face-to-face school, your teacher is right there for, for educational support, but also for emotional support too. And online teachers, it's not really an exception, except that you really have to make that effort to reach out to them, okay? You have to make the first step. So tracking your progress as well as just getting the answers to your questions beforehand. So in regards to tracking your progress, some teachers will send out progress reports weekly. A lot of the times your progress can be found on your class website or the learning platform that you're using. And see if you can find the answer to your questions beforehand. A lot of courses will have a course outline, especially for high school courses, a frequently asked questions section, like I said, a forum. And in my case, I usually send out my updates by email. So if something's coming up, or if there's a deadline coming up, I usually email it out. So try your best to get your answers beforehand if you can. So asking for extensions on assignments. If you don't know what an extension is, it's basically when your teacher gives you a little bit more time to complete an assignment. So they might give you an extra week after the deadline. And oftentimes you need a pretty good reason in order to get an extension. But I like to think that most teachers are pretty flexible with that. But you won't know unless you ask. For example, when I was in university, I dislocated my shoulder at a hockey game, and I wasn't able to really do my assignment properly because I was in a sling, right? So I asked my teacher for an extension. I asked for a week, and she was totally cool with it. And she gave me that extension. And in the end, I didn't even need it. I still finished the assignment on time. But it's nice knowing that you might have a bit more room to work with, and it might make you feel a bit less rushed. And I know in that moment, I felt less rushed. And it was cool knowing that my teacher had my back and she was willing to give me a little bit more room to work with. Now, I know I already mentioned this, but I can't stress enough, don't be shy. Okay, your teachers are here to help you. They want to help you. And reaching out and getting their help is a lot better than staying stressed out about whatever problem you have, okay? Be proactive, get the help you need, and then you can move on with your course content and you don't have to be stressed out. So parents, how parents can help. So in my case, I teach K-6 students right now. So most of my communication is with parents, but even with middle school and high school parents too, there are ways you can help out. A lot of that depends on the teacher and how frequently they communicate with parents rather than students. Now, with me personally, everything I send out to students, I also send out to parents. And in some cases, I only send it out to parents. So the best thing that I think parents can do is to check your emails daily, even just once really quickly, just to see if a teacher sent out an update on a certain course or something that might affect your child. And also teach your child how to be independent in asking their teacher for help. Now, I understand with really young students, this is close to impossible because they just don't have those skills yet, which is fine. But for students, let's say grade 4 and up, teach your child how to contact their teacher on their own. These are really, really good skills, and these are skills that they're going to continue to build on as they get older. So that's it for my video on communication. I definitely encourage you to check out some more videos in this series and also consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck with your online learning.